Academic language and differentiated instruction in math. That is what I will talk to you about today. To start with, I started with a portion of Schmoker on literacy, and there was an interesting quote from Brazelton and Decker that said, "Mathematics is the most difficult content area material to read because there are more concepts per word, per sentence, and per paragraph than any other subject. The mixture of words, numerals, letters, symbols, and graphics require the reader to shift from one type of vocabulary to another." So I agree with this quote because I do believe that the math is very complex, especially when you write about math. And on this, also on literacy, Schmoker mentions that he recommends that math courses should have more text, that they need to be read slowly, carefully, and in reiterative readings, just like a 2-year study from Chanahan's and Chanahan's. And then also that in math, students must need to understand the instructions and procedures that are being asked. And that we as teachers should build a collections of texts that will help us on a year-by-year basis. From there, on academic language, from Swires and Crawford, they said that in order to boost the academic languages, that all students need to be trained to be in different types of academic language. For example, students need to perceive when their listeners don't understand what they're saying, and be able to ask useful questions such as, what do you mean by, how does that connect to our question of, and that you as a teacher sometimes you will pose questions that are pondering questions and that might linger too much and might hurt your conversations with the students, and that the students need to negotiate meaning from other people's answers and figure out what they were trying to say. So some of the things that we have, some of the strategies from Tomlinson and McTeague is that teacher discourse moves, and from there I'm relating it back to how we move students in academic language to negotiate meaning from other people's answers, and then that the question that they must be answering, the focus or essential questions, need to be very focused. Such questions such as, what is a number? Can everything be quantified? And then we need to activate students' schema. So those type of questions, less is more, and we need to sequence the questions, have clear vocabulary, tone down the language, personalize, and post the essential questions. And again, and we can do this using our teacher discourse moves, such as revoicing our students' ideas, asking another student to revoice another student's ideas, or sequencing their final product, their math, their thinking, in a way that makes sense for the class to understand the different levels of the class. Because they were saying, Tomlinson and McTeague were saying that a lot of times struggling learners are given this regime of low-level skill drill activities and rote memorization of discrete facts, but in reality they should be participating with the whole class with this type of essential questions. And then again to Schmoker, he proposes that math should be used for students to propose, predict, and interpret arguments. And then Swire and Crawford follow up a little bit on this and say that what this does, it allows students to encourage and complement other students, and it allows them to maintain a logical flow. They have connections, they have deep thoughts. It creates leaders within their classroom, and the students think and talk like experts. So in math, students would be using math language when they're referencing, anything on the math class. And that when we give them text, the text should be nonfiction. When we give them numbers, that those numbers must be real. An example of such text would be a text that talks about if the U.S. declines, that is better for the world and the U.S. And for us in math to use current articles and raw data that allows the students to know that math is real in life. And then Swires and Crawford follow up with academic language, saying that we should teach grammar through conversation, again using the teacher discourse moves in the conversations that on these readings that Schmoker recommends for us to use the nonfiction and the current articles and raw data. And the teacher discourse moves, once again, such as student revoicing, other students thinking. We as teachers revoice students thinking and sequencing their answers properly. Also that we need to focus in their language to be a high level with complex sentences, transitions, connectives, pronouns, and uncertainty. And some of the things we can do for them are to use topic sentence supported by other sentences, model sentences. We need to repeat, reword, and discuss. And then a sample the words organizer. So pretty much using graphic organizers. And again, for differentiating the type of readings that must be done in math and the type of academic language on those readings, students must know the goal, and they should have a sample of what proficiency looks like. And all students should be exposed to the curriculum in order for them to make meaning and think at high levels. Again, the struggling students should not be left with just rote memorizations. And then students need to learn the basics and apply in meaningful ways. And then there is this balance between the student construction and teacher guidance. Teachers are direct instructors, we are the facilitators, and we are the coach. And students need to take the role of receiving, taking in, responding, constructing, examining, extending, refining, and deepening the understanding of the topics that we are touching in math. Okay? Again, and to sum it all up, Tomlinson and Mike Teehee say that teachers, like a good jazz musician, we must be able to know when to accelerate, when to slow down, when to stop, catch up, plan, and improvise. And I have seen this already as in my student teaching, and I feel like I still have a lot to learn, but I'm still going strong and keeping out to be a good jazz musician. Thank you.